I'm Debra Jones, and I'm pretty excited today because I just took delivery on my new RiCOMA embroidery machine. I'm really excited to get it unpacked and assembled, and I want you to join me for that, along with the team who will be helping you get your new machine out of the box and onto its stand. It doesn't take a lot of time to assemble your machine, but we want to make sure that we're relaxed and have a good time doing it. So let's go outside to the porch where they left our crate and see how the boys are doing in getting it unpacked.
Cut the straps that secure the lid to the box. Remove the lid and set aside. Remove the hoops and other accessories from the top tray. Handle all accessories carefully. After setting the top tray aside, carefully remove the outer carton, making sure the parts packed in the perimeter do not fall. Remove the parts of the unassembled machine stand from the perimeter of the shell that surrounds the machine and set aside. Lift the outer shell that surrounds the machine and set aside. Expose the machine by lowering the plastic wrap and carefully remove the tool kit and other accessories packed around the machine and set them aside. To begin assembling the machine stand, attach the combination wheels and leveling feet to the bottom of the machine stand using the provided hex bolts. Attach the support bar to the rear of the stand using the furnished hex bolt and combination bolt washer. This should be attached before the bottom or top tables are attached. Attach the bottom table to the stand using the provided bolts, placing the smooth round bolt head to the top of the table. Attach the top table to the stand, again placing the smooth round bolt head on the top of the table. Insert the round plastic caps into the openings near the top of the rear stand support. Lift the machine from the points indicated on the stickers on the machine and place it on the stand. Attach the leveling feet to each corner of the machine by screwing the feet into the threaded openings. Level the machine stand using the serrated wheel on the foot of each leg of the stand. Next, level the machine using the machine's leveling feet. Now we are ready to attach the thread stand to the RiCOMA machine. Locate the thread stand support bars and remove the Phillips head screws from the top. Set the screws aside. Insert the first thread stand support bar into one of the large round openings on top of the machine. Screw it into the threaded opening. Repeat with the second support bar. Place the thread tree on top of the support bars with the angled bars facing up and secure it with the Phillips head screws that you removed earlier. Attach the thread carrier tubes between the slot just below the top thread tensioner and the slot above the first thread guide on the tension base. I find it easiest to work from the center out, so count the slots on top and bottom to make sure you are attaching the tubes correctly onto matching numbered slots. Place one foam thread disc over each hole in the thread stand base. Secure them by inserting a plastic thread spindle over each foam base. Place the 15 thread colors that you want as your initial selection over the spindles on the thread stand. Here's a tip. If you allowed enough room to walk behind your machine, place the colors that you will use the most on the front row. This will allow you to tie on new colors to the cones at the back of the machine while the machine is running. If possible, try not to place colors that are very similar, such as black and navy blue, in close proximity to each other, such as on adjacent needle bars. This could lead to accidental misuse of a similar color. You will use every eyelet on the thread tree to guide the thread in a straight path toward the first tensioner. To assure that you use each eyelet, follow this procedure. Place the thread spools on the stand and thread the first 3 cones in this order: back row, middle row, front row. Repeat this threading order with the next 3 cones, starting with the cone on the back row, then the cone on the middle row, and finally the cone on the front row, to complete threading each spool through the eyelets on the upper thread tree.
Now we're going to thread the RiCOMA machine. You can put any kind of thread on your RiCOMA. You can use polyester or rayon, those are the 2 most common, or you can use cotton or acrylic thread as well. Now, the spool type could be a mini king spool like this, could be a king spool cone like this one, or even a home embroidery thread put up, or this type of cone. So don't worry about what types of thread you have to put on to fill up all 15 of those needle bars. But what we do want to do is make sure that we pay attention and are careful. Remember, you only have to thread your RiCOMA machine 1 time. After that, when you change colors, you're going to be tying the threads on and pulling them through the thread path to change your thread colors. It may seem like a lot of steps or time to get it done. We're never going to have to thread the whole thing again, so just make sure that it's done correctly. Now, if your machine came to you with the threads in a bundle tied behind the head of the machine, just be sure that you follow these guidelines that we're going to show in this portion of the video to make sure that everything is still in the proper path as it was when it left the distribution center to come to you. So let's go thread our machine.
Place the thread through the small eyelet above the top of the first tensioner. Pass the thread to the right side of the top tensioner. Remove the thread tube from the top slot. Find the threading insert among your accessories. Locate the notch or slit near one end. Wrap the thread all the way around the slit securely and pass the threading insert all the way through the tube and out through the bottom. Reattach the thread tube to its slot and take up the slack in the thread. Place the thread under the clip guide. Press on the opposite side of the clip and the other end pops up so you can easily slide the thread underneath. Pull the front disc of the tensioner toward you and slip the thread to the left side of the post, then to the right side of the tensioner. Pass the thread up and over the left of the post at the bottom of the tensioner. Place the notch in the disc over the post. On the even-numbered needles, there is a post above the roller disc. Pull the thread to the right side of the post above the roller disc. Guide the thread to the left side of the post beside the roller disc, under the post, and over the disc in a clockwise direction. The thread should exit at the bottom of the roller disc to the left side of the post. Place the thread under the clip guide by pressing on the opposite side of the clip. Slide the thread underneath. Next, you will thread the check spring and take-up lever. Begin by lifting the lever to place the check spring into threading position. The lever should be up for threading. Pass the thread under the bars and through the round check spring. Verify that the thread has passed through the center of the round check spring by moving the lever. Later, when you are embroidering, you can use this lever to adjust the springs to give better performance according to the weight of the fabric being embroidered. When embroidering heavy materials, place the springs lower. Place them higher for lightweight materials. Pull the thread toward the take-up lever and pass the thread through the lever and down through the two ceramic eyelets. Place the thread behind the thread guide near the top of the needle. Slip your scissor point behind the thread to place it behind the guide. Pass the thread through the eye of the needle from the front and down through the presser foot. Pull the thread up into the spring to be held until needed for embroidery. You can command the machine to trim each threaded needle to pull the thread from the spring to be held behind the needle in the thread holder. This is optional, but it will eliminate the need to snip the thread tail that will remain after the first stitch is made when the thread tail is held in the wire. On the control panel, press the number of the needle that you wish to trim. Press the scissors button on the control panel to trim. Repeat for each needle. For needles numbered 10 or above, press the 10 plus key and the appropriate number. For example, for needle 10, press the 10 plus key and then the 0 key. For needle 11, press the 10 plus key and then the number 1 key. Stand back and look at the front panel of the machine to make sure that all needles appear to be threaded correctly. Compare your threading to this illustration. If your threading matches this illustration, you are ready to stitch a test pattern.